It's your boys, the hit players. We're here.
I was like,
heard
how
the
long can I
shower go on,
maintain
and I was like,
direct eye contact with Isaac?
we are here for another fun one. At an anniversary, it is a movie that exists.
And thanks for coming.
No, we are
We're
talking
getting the
about
negative reviews already.
we are talking about District 9 today, a movie that James loves and is pretty sure has talked about many times on this podcast. With good reason. With good reason, I would say. James is the sole owner of Neil Blomkamp Island. It's a thing that people do when they're like, I have stake in this island. Like, I have stake in Nintendo Island. It's like, I still believe in Nintendo.
Yeah, his
So
dad,
anyway.
his dad owns Nintendo. If you didn't know,
So,
Yeah, dude, my uncle works for Xbox.
both those Mets, am I right?
Yeah. So District 9, a
District
movie that I think we could argue is probably Neil. I'm not going to say his last name. Let's just call him Neil for the sake of, for my sake, I'm just going to call him Neil.
My boy Neil.
Could be argued his best movie. We'll probably argue that in a little bit. But James, what do you appreciate about Neil?
Armstrong, the person who landed on the moon.
I appreciate two things about him. The first thing I love about Neil Blomkamp is his approach to motion capture and CGI. I feel like where a lot of people were singing the praises of James Cameron and Avatar, and while yes, that he made incredible innovative breakthroughs in motion capture animation for the Avatar films, Neil Blomkamp's integration of motion capture with live action, I think really took what Peter Jackson first did with the Lord of the Rings movies to a whole nother level. And made stuff like, you know, the Planet of the Apes movies even possible, I think. Because he still does motion capture in like a normal studio space. If you've ever seen anything he's done with his Oats Studios, those shorts that they've produced. But, you know, throughout his career, not just in District 9, stuff like Elysium and Chappie, it's almost entirely on location shoots across the board. So that is 100%, I think, just as somebody who, you know, during that heyday of motion capture animation, other than maybe Robert Zemeckis, you know, the Polar Expresses, the Marzi's moms.
Yeah.
I think Neil Blomkamp is a bit underappreciated in that field, in my opinion. Not to say that he is as efficient as James Cameron.
Yeah.
I think he is actually probably a little more inefficient, and some people pointed out the ways in which his approach to motion capture could make animators' lives less horrible.
Yeah.
But he is absolutely an innovator in that field, in my opinion. And District 9, understandably, I think, blew a lot of people's minds.
You guys remember the first trailer? I think it was literally just like found footage of the ship coming into orbit or something.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, yo, are we getting invaded for real? Like, what's going on?
I didn't watch this movie until after it got all the Oscar buzz.
Yeah.
Long after the Oscars were over, and I was like, why is this science fiction movie is nominated? And so after looking at the cover and being like, oh, convincing myself this isn't going to be a scary movie.
It does kind of have that vibe when you look at just like all the
No humans allowed side.
the posters and stuff. Like it
Very
seems
creepy.
very creepy and dystopian. Which I mean, it is in a sense, but like
Yeah.
you'd expect it to be more dark and grim, a la Alien, versus the way that actually ends up.
Yeah, this movie was surprisingly funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it obviously helps when your lead actor is Charlton
Use your words.
Copley. I don't know how to say his last name.
Cope.
Who has many appearances as being the funny comedic character in a lot of not only action movies but just all movies. But yeah, this movie was way funnier than I thought it was gonna be, especially after watching like the first 15 minutes of the found footage, like up until basically they go into District 9. You're like, yo, are we about to watch War of the Worlds Part 2? And we did not. Connor, did you have any experience with Neil B before watching this movie? Had you seen this movie before this
Yes.
pod? Okay.
I have seen. I think we watched it with our buddy Frank.
I did not watch it with you guys.
Shout out Frank.
If you did.
Then maybe I didn't watch it with you, but I feel like I think I saw it with Frank.
Shout out Frank.
Shout out our boy Frank.
If he still watches these videos, I
probably
think Barbie immediately like killed.
Yeah. He actually sent me a cease and desist for using his music.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I'd seen it before. I kind of like going in. This was just a like, oh yeah, I love this film. We should talk about it again. I'll rewatch it with an adult perspective because I was like maybe like 17.
Mm-hmm.
And go at it with the lens of somebody who isn't just like, hey, movies are fun, but like, you guys have corrupted into this just
You're one
awful
of us.
human being.
You're one of us now.
You understand the concept of an apartheid.
Yeah. Just
Symbolism.
absolutely ruined me.
Or what is it? Allegory.
Allegory.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean that was my.
But you had never seen another film from him other than
I don't think so. What other films has he made?
Elysium with Matt
Elysium
Damon.
is a Matt Damon one.
There's
Don't think
Chappie where
so.
it's I think it's
That's the
is that
robot,
one
right?
Dev Patel?
What was that?
Dev Patel? With
Dave Patel?
Chappie? Dev?
I don't know if he's in it or not. I know Die Antwoord is the rap group.
think I've seen Chappie either.
Chappie's the one that everybody probably knows
Say,
more
that's the
because that's
robot
the
with
one
the-
that
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
one that got a lot of Oscar buzz when it came out.
Even though it was not a good movie.
Oof.
And you've seen
those were
Gran
the
Turismo.
rough- that was the rough years of the Oscars.
You saw Gran Turismo
I
as
saw
well?
Gran Turismo.
Yeah, his most recent one.
It was with Dev Patel. Nice.
What do I know? I think I saw like half of that film, and I was like, I can't be
You're like,
bullied
wow,
any further.
I saw the trailer and I was like, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's not for me. This movie though was fun.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how much fun I had watching it. I seen it like bits and pieces growing up, but I had never actually sat down and watched the whole thing.
Really?
Mhm.
And so it was a good time.
So you kind of knew like what to expect.
Yeah. I
Okay.
knew like the whole like it's a commentary on South African apartheid and xenophobia and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then I knew the ending when spoiler alert,
Stuff happens.
it's him. Yeah, but so I knew some stuff, but
Mhm.
watching it the whole way through and watching everything and like just the cool action sequences, I was like, this movie deserves, I think, a little bit more love than, which is saying a lot because it was nominated for Best Picture. But
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still like I feel like it's one of those films where outside of like these kind of discussions, it doesn't really get talked about a whole lot anymore. Like when you guys were like, "Oh, we should do District 9 for the podcast. It's the anniversary." I was like, "I haven't heard that name in ages." And I'm like, and it's a great film. Like it's awesome. But it's not really something that people I've, heard people be like, "Oh, it's my favorite film," or like, "Oh, what should we watch? Oh, let's put on District 9." Like I feel like it just kind of flies under the radar despite being really good and getting a lot of buzz.
Which is understandable. I mean, first off, it's filmed in a style that is a subgenre anyway,
Right.
the found
Yeah.
footage. And second, it's South African.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that was a big thing.
I don't think most Americans could find South Africa
Unfortunately.
on a map. And then it deals rather
It's just funny because
explicitly.
it's in the name.
It deals rather explicitly with South African politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which most Americans, you don't even learn that stuff in school in
No,
America.
no.
So yeah, the fact that it was considered a sleeper hit, I think, is probably an understatement.
Yeah.
As well.
It tracks.
But I think that the influence that this movie has isn't felt in necessarily, other films like gripping the story or, I think the actual impact of District 9 is probably felt more in the amount of people who got into visual effects work.
Yeah.
Just by watching it, because not every shot looks super dated. There's a lot of those, especially when they're wandering around the actual District 9 compound. Like, it looks pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
In a lot of places. When people freaking explode when they get shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say the effects all looked fantastic. The prawns are, I mean,
Very unique and cool design.
I'll say, well, not just design wise, but just the matter of actually like how they look CGI.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of movies still can't reach that level
Yeah.
of like quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like they look real.
Even just forgetting the aliens, like when he's transforming. Spoiler. When he's transforming. What are you looking at?
Oh,
you scared me.
James's clothes moved, and I thought there was a person on your balcony. It scared the crap out of me. That's why I stopped mid sentence.
I
I was
just
like,
immediately see you guys look over my shoulder, and I'm like, oh shit. There's a ship coming down.
yeah, no.
That's funny.
Face hugger.
No, but I think right. Yeah, the xenomorph knows we're about to. It haunts us in our dreams. No, I think what I was most impressed of visually were his transformation. Because there are scenes and moments where he's like peeling away pieces of his skin, and I'm like, that looks like the claw is cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've seen Terminator. I know how they do that. But like him actually pulling away pieces of his skin to reveal like the prawn exoskeleton or whatever, I was like, oh, that's gnarly stuff right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty cool.
I'm glad you thought that was cool.
What do you say like that? Were you grossed out by it?
Me? No, not at all.
Okay.
Okay, well, it is gross. And some of my most, like, the memories that stuck with me the most was specifically the scene where he peels off his fingernails.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one. I had to look away.
Yeah.
That's never happened to you guys before?
No, I've
Losing a fingernail?
Yeah.
No, but I have had it where it like comes off the nail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it comes off the skin. That sucks.
Ow.
Because you have to cut it all the way down so it regrows.
fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
That was a rough time.
So, how do you guys feel about now? This might be splitting hairs, but there is probably a legitimate debate about whether you watch this movie with subtitles on or off. Because when you the DVD or a Blu-ray, dating myself there a little bit,
The VCR.
you
The VHS.
had an option to leave the subtitles for the prawns off.
Yeah.
And some people, and I think our friend Frank, felt that was a superior way to watch this movie.
I actually don't remember if Frank left it off for me or not. Because I watched it on Amazon.
Yeah.
The really
They
funny
had
part about
subtitles
that
on.
is that the prawn have subtitles, but there was no subtitle option for the people.
Yeah.
The Nigerians have it.
Yeah. And I like to have...
Borderline offensive.
Yeah.
Do you want to get your clothes off real quick?
Yeah, hold on. Give me
Okay.
one second.
Yeah.
We'll keep talking as James.
It's just an onset storm. Which I find that really funny just because
Yeah.
it's like you're saying, like, there's the argument of like leaving it off for the prawns, but I can't even turn it on for the people. Like, shouldn't
Borderline.
like come on. But that's just because I like subtitles. We've talked about it a little bit before. I'm just a subtitles kind of guy. Is it already raining?
It's coming in.
Oh jeez.
It was raining in Leander when I picked up Sarah, or like drizzling.
You really meandered over here.
Let's discuss the quote unquote elephant in the room, the subject of apartheid and xenophobia.
Yeah, let's talk about how this movie is about racism and yet portrays Nigerians in like the worst
Yeah.
possible light.
Yeah.
I think that's a commentary on just oppressed people having issues with each other
So,
in certain communities. I mean, you hear about it in like now in like Los Angeles, you know, like
mhm.
African Americans, I guess I should say blacks and Mexicans like don't necessarily get along in those parts of the world.
Well, I mean, like, it's something that's been said about like some of the most racist people in America are people of color, and not necessarily like the white folk. Like some of like the most like xenophobic communities are like Asian Americans, African Americans, and stuff like that. And not like as a sweeping thing, just like this is just what you hear, and like some of those groups are just like outwardly hateful to anybody outside of themselves.
Yeah.
And it comes up with the same thing. It's like we're supposed to, you're supposed to be like helping each other against,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
The real
seen
problem.
that debate or the defense is that, it's less so anti-Nigerian as much as it is just broadly the way that African politics works, which how do we understand that as Americans?
Yeah.
Obviously, and Neil Blomkamp is South African and he wrote this film, so obviously he, understands the nature of that, international relationship there.
right.
And the actor who played the Nigerian kingpin, like dismissed all that criticism, and he was like, "Guys, aliens aren't even real. Why are you upset about
and
that?"
based.
And I was like,
What a man.
I don't know if you're doing a disservice.
What a legend.
What a
Doing a
man.
service or a disservice there.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's definitely one of those things that like I can point at as like and be like, this feels like it should be acknowledged in a different way. But I don't think it's like my conversation necessarily to have.
Yeah.
I think for me, the weakest point of the plot is that it is like one-to-one a white savior storyline, which I think across the board,
Yeah.
it's a little Oscar baity to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Not saying that it was made for that intention, just saying that, you know, they have a habit of
We see why the
picking some-
Oscars nominated
Yeah,
her for Best
basically,
Picture. Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's fair.
where
It's the Green Book.
It's the
it's the Help. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
What was that one football movie with the
Oh, The Blind Side?
yeah, Blind Side, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking of Invictus.
Yeah.
That's another
Or
one.
Crash.
Another South African movie.
Crash is another famous example as well too. Yeah.
Bandicoot?
We should show Connor Crash.
I feel like I would kill myself if I ever had to watch Crash again.
All right, next week, Crash.
Hold up.
Unironically, I think that'd be a great movie to do the drunk pod for.
No, we established the Drunk Pod is going to be the Borderlands film. I am
yeah,
holding
okay.
you to this.
Yeah, we'll do it. When it comes out on VOD, we'll do it.
You mean like next week? Because it's probably going to bomb.
I'm not going to watch it in theaters, but I'll pay
No, that's what
$5 to
I'm
rent
saying.
it.
It's going to
Yeah.
bomb.
You can drink
Yeah.
in theaters. It's legal.
No, but I don't want to pay $15 to go watch it in theaters. I would rather just
Yeah.
pay $5 to watch it here.
Yeah, I don't want $15 plus drinks
Yeah.
to go to Alamo,
Yeah.
get drunk, come back
For
here,
Borderlands.
and be upset about it.
yeah.
Anyway,
If
different
anything, we'll
conversation.
just do like a live stream. I was watching it and getting trashed.
it's just we just have a drinking game, and it's like take a shot.
Yeah.
What next thing happens? We just have like 7
Yeah.
shots lined up already.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Do you feel like this movie doesn't do enough to elevate its social commentary? That was another criticism I saw of this film, was the idea that it just devolves into being an action film where at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the aliens are still left on planet Earth.
Yeah, because it starts off really strong, right? With the whole MNU, like making up legislation to basically look like the good guys in
Yeah.
their forced eviction, which you're like, as an American, you're like, Andrew Jackson? and then, yeah, once they get there, it's just like, pew, 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 pew. This just turned into Star Wars, basically.
that was one of the things that I was going to bring up when I was rewatching it. Stuff that popped in my head was I was just like, for a movie that's this good, the tonal shift is so unbelievably jarring
Yeah.
because it just happens.
Mhm.
Like there's build up, but it's so like you're like, okay, yeah, they're thinking about maybe doing this, maybe doing that. We had a little bit of action, whatever, but this is very clearly like a commentary piece.
Yeah.
It's gonna be dark and broody the entire time. Oh my god, that man just exploded into 1,000 pieces. Why is there a bomb going off? Like,
He got a Megazord?
yeah, like just it. Yeah, like the mech suit is just like a whole thing. But like,
Yeah.
it's like I think it definitely like I'd have to kind of almost agree with that, James, where it loses the forest for the trees. Where it starts off so strong about
Go. You're good.
So-
You're good. Sorry.
yeah, it feels very like they started strong, like we're gonna have a message, and then at the end they're like, I don't know, watching people explode's really cool.
Yeah.
I like Neil Blomkamp because he's a very, technology oriented person, and he incorporates that in every single one of his films.
Yeah.
But unless you know that ahead of time, you don't expect story or character
Yeah.
in many of his works outside of something already very like a cliche action drama. Like I understand and I respect the idea that he had going into it, but I feel like part of what has kind of dampened the legacy of this film from its influence in motion capture and CGI animation is the fact that the story just fumbles its own message
Yeah.
by virtue of how it tells itself. It's you don't see it often, but District 9 is certainly an example of it.
Yeah.
Which you like the first times I watched this film, I love the action. And now rewatching it almost a decade later, I'm like, where did all this action come from?
take it or leave it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I almost my taste completely flipped in the other direction. Interestingly.
In a similar vein, how do you feel about it being nominated for Academy Award? was nominated for 4: Best Picture, Visual Effects, Screenplay, and I just had it pulled up. Literally,
Visual effects is understandable
Yeah.
entirely.
Editing, film
Editing
editing.
is also understandable, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially the first 20 minutes when it's like fast cuts, like
Yeah. Every part
Like
where they're
Professor-
just showing the news, fantastic.
Professor News,
Yeah.
main character, Professor News, main character, aliens, Professor News, Nigerian warlords, Professor News,
Yeah.
ship dropping. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I think editing is understandable. It was probably never going to win.
Yeah,
Visual effects is understandable. I don't remember if it won or not, but that would have been cool.
it didn't win for any of them.
That's
Do you want me
understandable.
to read you the nominees?
Yeah. It's great.
The nominees for
It's 2009.
So what did Life of Pi win Best Visual Effects?
I don't know if it won visual effects.
Okay.
Let's see. I gotta scroll. all the
It
way
won
down.
something that year, though, I'm pretty sure.
Because I feel like that might have been the year that Life of Pi came out.
I don't see it.
What
Nope,
won Best
wasn't one.
Picture in 2009?
I'm glad you asked. That's what I've been looking on my phone this whole time for.
All right, lay it down.
Give me the nominees and I'll remember what won.
You want the nominees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll start from the bottom.
Okay.
Up in the Air. Up. A Serious Man by the Coen brothers. Have you ever watched that movie?
It's a good one, yeah. Love the Coen brothers.
Precious. The book.
Based on a novel, Pushed by Sapphire.
Inglourious Bastards.
Okay.
In Education. Do you know that movie?
I don't remember it at all.
Sounds like a rom-com.
District 9.
Nice.
The Blind Side.
We were really feeling it in the
Here we go.
2009.
Now you guys ready for these two?
Okay.
Yeah.
We've had a pretty good mix of white savior / like social commentary / like what's wrong with America
Uh-huh.
/ fun movies.
Yeah.
Avatar. And then The Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker one.
And The Hurt Locker won.
Because everybody thought Avatar was going to win.
Yes.
Mhm.
Upset of the year.
And The Hurt Locker, the lowest budget movie that has ever won Best Picture.
Wow.
Interestingly enough.
Until
Nebraska?
Idaho.
no, it was Moonlight.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that fact. But
Or
that's
maybe
cool.
I think Moonlight was the movie that made the least at the box office.
Oh,
I think it
okay.
made like $15 million at the box office.
Ouch.
Yeah.
It's a good movie in my opinion.
I've never
I like
seen it.
Moonlight.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's in a year filled with other white savior complex movies and Avatar, the other big
Yeah.
CGI
Which is
motion
a
capture
blue
movie.
savior movie.
Yeah, which is also the exact same plot.
Yeah.
It really is, isn't it? White man comes to saves the day.
Yeah.
Someone was in the water in Hollywood in 2009, I think,
What was going on in the...
in the zeitgeist at that
I
time.
The
think, like-
Iraq War.
Oh, that would do it.
No, I don't think that was it.
Pretty sure there might have been a couple cop shootings, but just throwing a blind,
Well,
throwing a dart out there.
2008. Why is that your pop?
The recession, George Bush, Obama just got elected.
There it is.
There you go, Obama.
I was like, I don't remember if that's when Obama got elected or not, but
Obama got elected in 2008. Yeah.
yeah, no, that would do it.
Yeah. So
We love
That's
him. Just wanna
hilarious.
I would say 2009 to 2019. There's some weird years in the Oscars.
100%.
Where it's like 7 movies that nobody's watched. There's one like popular movie that it's nominated just because it's like at the People's Choice Awards,
Mhm.
and then 2 other like Martin Scorsese or
Yeah,
Paul
Quentin
Thomas Anderson
Tarantino.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's funny. What won Best Visual Effects that year then?
Glad
If
you
you
asked.
remember.
talk amongst yourself.
Because if Life of Pi was not nominated for Best Picture, then it was not 2009.
Well, I mean, wouldn't
Avatar would have won Best Visual Effects.
yeah, I say visual effects for sure.
Unless the Hurt Locker somehow also.
Well, I was
managed to
saying,
win
no, it was
that.
actually the blind side.
it was Avatar,
It was Avatar.
and
yeah.
then the Hurt Locker won for best editing.
Okay.
That one feels kind of gross. And then for best
Screenplay.
screenplay,
Watch It have been like The
Find
Blind
it.
Side.
the best adapted screenplay was Precious.
Oh, based on novel Pushed by Sapphire.
I like how you do it perfectly.
Wow.
Dude, I specifically remember the reason it's such a meme is because every single time they said Precious based on Novel Push by Sapphire.
In like trailers and stuff.
No, during the Oscars.
Oh, that's
It was
silly.
Wow.
And now for, best adapted screenplay, Precious based on Novel Push by Sapphire. And now best picture, Precious based on Novel Push by Sapphire.
That's so silly. Also nominated were An Education, In the Loop, Up in the Air.
In the Loop?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. If that's the British movie,
Yes.
that one is wild.
Yes, it is.
That TV show.
Like I said, a weird time in the Oscars.
Yeah.
Weird Time in the
Weird
Oscars.
time in the Oscars.
Which is kind of a shame because as much as District 9 is a good movie that we all enjoy, it got buried beneath the grander motion capture film and the more American-centric, white savior films. It really
didn't have a chance. When we saw those
Yeah.
football movies, it was over.
Would you have given it Best Picture? Is it Best Picture worthy?
I think if Avatar was not in the race, it actually probably would have had a chance.
So you would have given it to Avatar over.
Well, you kind of have to. I mean, it's, the biggest budget movie of all time back then. It's James Cameron, who is incredibly innovative and respected in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to at that point. And I actually think back then I expected Avatar to win myself.
Connor, how do you feel about Avatar? This just turned into an Avatar pod.
Well, I mean,
Don't make a joke about the TV show.
I was about
He's
to
like, never mind.
I was about to be like, I hate that every time somebody brings up Avatar, my brain has to like process for a second about which one they're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it was a fine film. I didn't really have. I thought the effects were cool. I didn't understand how good they were up until much later in my life when I went back and watched. And I was like, oh my god.
I appreciate those movies more watching the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
I told James, but for the second one, have you seen the second one?
No.
They didn't know how to animate underwater. And they spent 3 months trying to figure out. And at first they like suspended him in air and then they put him through a wind tunnel. And then he was like, this just looks weird. And the animators are like, it's fine, James. Nobody's going to notice. And he's like, no, I notice. So they constructed a 100-gallon, or I think it was a lot of gallons, just swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
And they just attached waterproof balls to them and were like, here's a pair of goggles, swim underwater. We're going to film you. And then they were like, wait, we can't actually capture the reflection of light through the water. And they're like, he was like, F it, put the balls on top of the pool. It's so crazy.
If it
I
works.
found myself watching like a 5-minute clip of that. And I was like, James Cameron, you are absolutely insane.
Hey, I mean, necessity breeds innovation. Am I right?
Yeah. So those movies I appreciate way more watching.
Necessity
behind the
knows
scenes.
no law.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Where there's a
Which-
will, there's a way.
It's funny because Neil Blomkamp has stuck like specifically to South Africa
Yeah.
and South African culture. And I think it's part of the reason why his other films didn't have too much of a reach in the United States either, despite having demonstrably better animation than District 9 did and arguably a more innovative approach. But you throw Diane word into your film in the trailer and Americans are going to be like, what? No, thank you. We're not going to.
I don't understand.
Yeah. South African rap group.
Yeah,
Really weirdos. So it's just a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
And it's even when you saw Gran Turismo, you noticed that it was mostly just CGI animation rather than his typical, which is understandable, I think.
Don't even get me started on the racing scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
God, so annoying.
Yeah.
I hated it.
I think we got him started.
I think we got him started.
If I could trace back.
Where
to
does
the
this
moment he
movie
got
rank for you
started.
guys in science fiction?
So this one is at least probably top 10 for
Yeah.
me, but it's definitely like it would be number 10.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the thing with District 9 is it fulfills a niche that didn't exist prior to it and has not been filled since.
Yeah.
I think maybe Attack the Block is the only other film I.
And we're back. Connor, where does this rank for you in the top 10
So as I was saying,
science fiction movies?
I had a little bit of technical difficulties there.
When do we not?
Excuse me.
When do we not?
So as I was saying, it like kind of James said, if that got captured or not, if it didn't, whatever. where it's I don't really know where it would rank. It would be high because it's
Yeah.
a good film, but it would probably be at like the near bottom of whatever space I'm putting it in.
Yeah.
Just because it doesn't it as a sci-fi film, it doesn't do a lot with the concept of sci-fi stuff.
Mhm.
It sets up a lot of really cool ideas that it never explains. Which in a lot of sci-fi is expected. You don't explain everything because then it gets hard sci-fi, and a lot of people don't like that. But like a lot of the questions that people would have directly are never talked about, and are just kind of pushed under the rug and ignored, so that they could talk more about the commentary on, racism bad.
It's interesting because it's like District 9 is not the best first contact
Yeah.
science fiction film because I mean Arrival. It's not the best like science fiction film with aliens in it entirely.
Alien.
It's not the best science fiction film to explore something like apartheid or, systemic racism because like Ursula Le Guin and everything she ever wrote. It's not the best film to actually be racist either. Science fiction work to be that.
Yeah,
Because
Black Klansman.
I was going to say Starship Troopers. it's staying within science fiction.
Anyway,
Yeah, Get Out. Yeah.
oh man, look at the time.
But it's the only other film that does all of those things.
Yeah.
It fulfills that specific niche. And it came first.
It did come first.
So I
did
got to
come
give it
first.
credit for that
Yeah.
at the very, very least. It's definitely like if somebody is a science fiction fan and they haven't seen District 9, I'd be like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But if you were like, show me a good like first contact alien film, I would definitely show you like Arrival first before District 9.
Arrival's really. Have you seen
Yeah, I
Arrival?
think- no, I don't think so.
Arrival's really good.
Add it to the list.
I love Arrival.
Anyway, I cut
You
you
keep
off.
pointing at the camera and being like, next week? Oh. Keep guessing.
We have a lot of pods to do next week.
What a day. Killed me. I forgot what my point is, but you just kind of ran with it, so I think it's fine.
It was bottom of the list, but not the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We covered
Yeah.
it. James
Pretty solid.
helped add some verbosity to it.
And despite its flaws, honestly, I'd still give it an A.
Yeah.
It's really good. Really fun.
It's still a damn good film. It's just that it's not like the best in anything it's trying to do.
There is a amateurish quality to it, though, that I think I enjoy
Yeah.
overall. Like the fact that it's found footage, and at a certain point, it just stops being found footage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the fact that most of the actors just aren't like professional actors. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I always appreciate that.
And the fact that even the way that it kind of fumbles its story to just become an action film has a like amateurish charm to it in a way where you're like, like you had like the vision was there. I see the vision. You'll get there one day.
Favorite moments from the movie. Most rewatchable scene. Let's do that. If you were rewatching this movie and you're like, this part's coming up, I have to watch this.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good
I mean,
question.
honestly, the entire eviction scene where they're going around evicting
Going door to door.
prawns, that one is definitely it's such a strong opener
Yeah.
for this film.
I love the siege of the Bastille.
Yeah, where they
When
break
they
into the
break into the
building.
headquarters.
I'll say that one's
It's
pretty
so
good.
fun.
The direct opening, that first 20 minutes where they're
Yeah.
hopping between
Yeah,
all the different
that's a good
cameras
that's a
and
good-
stuff is
it's
also
a good,
very
it's such a good start to the movie
it's
because it
so
just
strong.
starts.
Yeah.
You're just in
It's
it.
also good because while you're following Vicus in the present tense, everyone is talking about him in past tense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
So
already
it
get a
immediately
sense of
sets up something
Wrong, yeah.
is going to go wrong, which is such a cool device
Yeah.
to use.
I'd say a lot of those transformation sequences, while gross, are also just very fun to watch just because they're so visually powerful. Like, I mean, there's something viscerally upsetting about like when he's like taking his fingernails
a
off
man
and when
peeling his skin,
his teeth
his
pop
teeth
out.
falling
yeah.
out.
Or the scene where they start using him to test the weapons.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
When they bring the prawn in to test the weapons and he's like, no, I'll do the pig. His breakout too when he's just like, because he starts as this such like nice, verbose
Yeah.
kind of almost demure guy,
Call to action.
and then you watch this like he starts going crazy and just him just screaming at everybody, fuck you, get out of my way, fuck you. Like,
It goes Super Saiyan.
and he just
Yeah.
goes nuts. Like I was like, yeah, I mean, that's just it's cool. It's underrated moment actually that I don't know if it's necessarily fits this bill, but I think it's just a really fun little mild thing is at the very, very end when his wife's like, "Yeah, I got this metal flower, and it was in front of me, and I'd like to think that it's him showing that he's watching over me," and it cuts to a prawn folding the flower. It's just nice.
It's a nice little narrative.
Yeah, moment.
Yeah,
He
it's
still
like a little-
retains his humanity, but despite not being human.
But it leads back to the thing that I was saying of like, why the hell isn't anything explained? That him full prawning. What does that mean for the rest of the prawns? Are they just an amalgamation race? Are they parasitic? Why does their fuel also make him a prawn? I don't know. There's a lot of things that I want answered. This as a sci-fi guy that I
I
ignored.
kind of liked it though.
Yeah,
It
I think
left
that's
it
one of those
very
things-
open-ended because it's not about that.
No,
Yeah.
of course, and I think that's why it's like
Yeah.
on one hand that's good. It should not
Works.
answer that because
Yeah.
it makes it better.
And then the sequel, District 10, that will answer all your questions.
I say
Yeah, I was
But,
gonna say, do they come back in 3 years? What do you guys think?
I hope they don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
think they just
I would like it to just be a one-off thing that just kind of, even its open-endedness exists so that you can ask those questions about like, what does that mean about the prawns? But also, how does that, help us interpret our own sense of humanity
yeah.
against each other? But I don't think we need a District 10, or anything like that.
No, I don't really know where else you could take the story is the thing. Besides just making it a full-blown
Yeah.
action flick, War on the Worlds kind of thing.
Yeah, they come back and they change him back into a human, something like that.
I was always funny to me watching. I was like, District 9. What happened to the first 8 districts? As when I was a kid. But anyways, anything else?
Not much else to say.
No, I mean, I feel
District
like-
9, very good movie. We all give it A's.
If you haven't seen it, you honestly should watch it.
Yeah, it's a good.
I
it's a fun time.
very, very highly recommend
It's
this.
on sale, $5 at Amazon. I bought it myself because it was $3.89 to rent and $4.99 to buy. So I was like, might as well just spend the extra $1.10.
There you go. Now you can watch it every
Now I
single
have
day.
It,
and
I have it until
perpetuate.
Jeff Bezos decides to take it away from me.
Yeah,
And at
pretty
that
much.
point, I will.
Cry.
All right. We just played Alien.
We sure did.
We really are just like an alien centered.
We're doing pretty
podcast.
good on it, I would say.
So, yeah.
We're feeling pretty good. I
we
just
really
took
have
over
this
the
pivot into
controller.
sci-fi.
So I'm on the controller for the
I took
last
over the
episode
microphone.
and the next one. James was my
Boom operator.
my boom op.
Yeah, we need to get a new one.
Yeah, we really do.
Next episode might be delayed a little bit until we get working mic stands
Yeah,
to play
we're
with.
Yeah.
gonna take a little pause from Alien. I think just for the sake of our mental health as well.
I'm doing fine. I'm doing that and playing Dead Space at the same time, bro. I'm broken
Connor's
mentally.
a brand new man.
I've really
This
changed.
pod has made Connor a brand new man.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. What are we doing next week? Do we know?
I don't think we
I've
do.
pitched
We
like
haven't-
4 different things. So
Well, we're
If-
not doing Borderlands yet.
Unless it
No.
just happens to come out on video
I
on
mean, if it
demand.
comes out on video between
going
now and then,
fast.
I would definitely be down to do it.
I think its Rotten Tomato score has gone up, but I still think it's sub 10.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Honestly, sub 10 is very impressive.
Yeah, it's not good. I have not seen a single piece of positive. Even like the one where I was like, "Oh, this is kind of nice." It was just, well, it's forgettable.
Should we?
I love that we did a pod. We've done, I think, 1 or 2 pods where we're like, video game movies are so in right now. They're so good. Like, creators are actually, they played the
They're
games,
trying,
they
yeah.
understand the lore, and then Borderlands has just killed any, like, hope of that continuing into the next year.
I'm really excited to watch it. I know it's gonna be bad. I know I'm gonna hate it, but I'm excited because I just want to see how much of a crapshoot it is.
Have you ever played the Borderlands games?
I have not. No.
The first one's pretty fun.
Have you, Isaac?
Yeah, I played the first one. First one's good. I didn't play the others.
I played,
I'm not a big looter shooter guy,
Yeah, that's fair.
but the first one was a good time.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
we'll
So next
figure
week
out-
we'll have something.
Yeah, we'll figure out something between now and then, as we always do.
We'll do an Eli Roth primer.
I think I would just stick this microphone into my face. I would rather do anything but Eli Roth. Jesus. I didn't even want to do Blair Witch, let alone Eli Roth. Oh my God, that's just asking me for me to die. All right, we're out of here. Bye, guys.
All right,
Thank
see
you.
you.